And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Market Recap. It's Wednesday, October the 19th, and we survived. The world did not fall apart. Thank goodness for that, right? What was it, 35 years ago? It was a different story. Black Monday. It's okay Wednesday today. Take a deep breath. Basically, the trading day is over. Thanks for joining me for the Market Recap. My name is John Hoagland. Thanks again for trusting me with your time. And so we're halfway through the week. Well, a little more than halfway through the week anyway. Hopefully, again, things have been going well for you. Some pretty decent opportunities and some range extensions to the downside in the equities today. We did have some housing numbers that weren't all that cheery this morning. We have the S&Ps closing down 26 points unofficially. That's approximately 0.7%. The NASDAQ down 44 points unofficially, about 0.4%. And the Dow futures down about 110 points, approximately 0.4%. Well, from what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing on the talking heads and around the industry is the rising yields have started to attract investors away from stocks, at least for the time being. The 10-year rate put in a 52-week high today, still at 2008 levels. So the yields a little bit more attractive, I guess, for some of our longer time frame investors, if you will. The 10-year still trend line. We'll see that in the charts very shortly. The Fed speak today. Just a couple of comments I pulled off of what they said. Kashkari said he doesn't think the economy was in a recession for the first 6 months. Well, the first two GDP, he would say that we were in a recession. So I guess it's all in the narrative and the way you want to look at things. Bostic stated, and this is kind of scary, but of course we all are well aware of this, that the Fed cannot solve all the problems causing current inflation. Yes, of course, maybe some policy changes might help a little bit, but I digress. Crude prices rallied $2.40 on inventory drop. The EIA IOIO had a little bit of a drop in crude stocks. They were looking for a 1.5 million barrel boost. It was about the opposite and to the downside. Even though the president has been discussing more release of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is, again, supposed to be for emergencies to probably help with some of the crude gasoline prices. We'll see how much that makes a difference. And just kind of looking at what the markets did, of course, we know crude supply issues now have won over some of the economic doubts today, at least for today. Prices moved right back to the top of the channel that we've been watching, and we'll see that on the chart shortly. The E-mini S&P's price pushes further lower off that overnight test of the weekly kickoff high. Housing info chills investors, again, along with those higher rates. As far as the NASDAQ is concerned, see the S&Ps. Gold overnight breakout creates downside direction and an extremely, I thought, a very difficult trading day trying to catch any continuation of that move to the downside in crude. The move after the open wasn't all that tremendous, and I think it was very difficult to manage risk in that session. If you were trading gold today, I hope that you kind of backed off or were very, very patient. The euro, no gap close, but little opportunities, very small range, and the price is very centrally located. Again, we'll see that in the charts. The 10-year again toeing the line as rates continue to rise. Prices of previous 10-year notes continue to fall off. And the natural gas, we finally got our target from that Head and Shoulders that we've been watching for 3-4 weeks now. And we've exceeded that now. We've finding some potential acceptance below that level. Find that kind of unusual or strange considering the fact that we are coming into winter and demand for natural gas is, largely going to be increasing. Going to be very cautious trying to look for any shorts down here. But I've been wrong before. As always, make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome for the recap. It's the last recap of the week this week. Tomorrow, Thursday, we'll be having the podcast with Dan and Jack, and we'll look forward to seeing them. Thank you for all of you that attended the group coaching session today. Some really, really good, tough questions. Appreciate it. Hope you got good answers. It's the thing I like about the group session is, there's always questions that traders have, and there are no bad questions. I find that you're going to find out, you're going to hear somebody else's question that maybe is something that you hadn't thought of yet. I think it's so important to spend a little time in those group coaching sessions. And, you're always going to hear something or some question or some idea or some thought that some trader has that we haven't thought of yet. And there's a million questions out there. And as soon as we get the right answers, the market's going to change the questions. So we're all, I appreciate everybody's participation in those group coaching sessions. What do we have tomorrow? We got Make Hogue Money. We're going to see if we can't get into something real good tomorrow. I don't have expectations for that, but I do bring positive thoughts, positive vibes, and a positive attitude into to Make Hogue Money tomorrow. And I think that we all find that happy traders make better traders. So we're going to have fun tomorrow on Make Hogue Money. Tomorrow, of course, that's after the recap or the forecast tomorrow at 7:45. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody there. Good afternoon, George. Lacey is exactly where you say she is. She is on the forbidden couch as we speak. Tachyon, nice job. Keep sharpening that edge. Little glitter sandwich. No. Always use a stop. Always protect yourself. Always wear a stop. Sorry about that glitter sandwich, but you're going back to step 2. You can get back to funded in no time if you're trading well, if you're trading right. I'm so sorry about that glitter sandwich. Got to put those stops in. And believe me, I've learned that lesson a lot of times, and I'm not going to do it again. Joel, good afternoon. My brother Rick is with us this afternoon. Love you, my brother. The Rooster, afternoon. Haggle Matters, good to see you, Michael. Brad, good to see you. The Rooster up 640 today. Step 2 has been tougher than step 1. It usually is. Because, and I think the main reason for that, Rooster, is because you're closer to where you want to go. Step 1, there's rules and accountabilities and consequences. Step 2, there's rules, accountabilities, and consequences, but they seem a little bit more severe because you're closer to where you want to go. Think about funding your own account, how tough some of those trading decisions are going to get. And you can build yourself some thicker skin. You can build yourself some steeliness to be able to deal with the additional pressures over time. It's one of the reasons, again, that we have the trading combine, is to ease your way into feeling those duresses, that skin in the game that everybody feels when we're actively trading. Thank you, Brad. I thought it was a good session today. Glitter Sandwich, learned my lesson. I've learned that lesson a bunch of times. Even if you're just going to be stepping away for a couple of minutes, just put that stop in. Put some sort of catastrophic stop in if you have to, just to protect yourself from doing that, from just having your account blow up in one session like that. Oh, well, my son is home. You're going to hear Lacey cry until he gets in to the house. She sees him on the driveway in his car, and he usually sits in his car and talks on his phone for a few minutes, and that makes Lacey go crazy. She's just going to cry and whine until he gets into the house. So, it's going to be Lacey's couch from now on. Yeah, hey, Vince, good to see you. Ravi, inside day for me. It looks like they took the day off. That's okay. As long as there's no losses, it's okay. Tomorrow's a whole nother day. Opportunities are going to continue to come at us. And it's the ones that seem to come to us that seem to be the better opportunities, right? And there he is. They got to have their little love fest here. I'm doing the recap right now, and Lacey was whining for you, so I know he's home. I know she's got to come and tell me when my son gets home, and I can see him, but she's got to come tell me. Go get him. Go get him. So they're gonna have their love fest. We're gonna check the charts. All right, crude oil. Well, we kind of went from the bottom of the channel to the top of the channel that we sometimes affectionately call the Daniel in honor of our good friend Dan Hodgman. We were looking for the market to perhaps head lower if the president was going to be releasing some more crude oil from the strategic preserve, but the EIA, a little bit of a loss. Take a look at the 30. Hey, Vince says, "What's up, Luke?" I think he's afraid to say anything. So here's the bottom of the channel we were at yesterday. Today, top of the channel. We still continue to bounce back and forth on this. What we were thinking may have ended up being a bull flag. And if this ends up being a bull flag, there's going to be quite the move to the upside if we do break out and accept above this trend line. Take a look at the S&Ps now. Another overnight check of weekly kickoff high, finding sellers up there in the overnight session. We had overnight session here. We have the market opening in range and value, unable to take out the low of the overnight, brought forth an opportunity for some of those overnight shorts to unravel, and the market continues to try and push lower, coming down to the visual level here, this visual target, naked point of control, before kind of finding some buyers and kind of relaxing. But again, it's a down day today. Watch the open interest tomorrow. Watch the open interest. We had an increase in open interest off the weekly kickoff high yesterday. If we have another boost in open interest with this move to the downside, we are attracting sellers, and those sellers maybe longer time frame, but they don't always win. You're going to be looking at basically the same chart, aside from the fact that the weekly kickoff high is a lot higher in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's been presenting lower. We're still putting in lower highs, lower lows, somewhat range-bound, but not with the same kind of range-bound extremes as the S&Ps. Here's the 30. Again, overnight inventory short. They bailed. And sellers came in and started pushing price lower. What did we do really? I mean, value low from the NASDAQ equal to value low today from yesterday. Didn't really move value all that much. Gold. We got our breakout and our continuation lower. First stop, visually, I'm kind of looking at this swing low here. I don't think that we have any naked points of control between here and there, so that's where that target's going to look, 1622. Here's the 30-minute chart and why I think today was such a tough day to trade. We had a gap. We were unable to close the gap. When we started to look higher, we kept expanding the area of balance that was created before the open, and we kept expanding it higher and expanding it higher. It wasn't until we finally, around 9:30, we'd put in the high, and then we end up pushing price lower and then settling. Not a very big range, not big momentum. How was volume? A little bit higher, still not remarkable, I would say. Yeah, we did have Tesla and IBM coming out with earnings. Let's see what we got. Tesla missed. Tesla misses on revenue, but beats on earnings per share. And IBM beats on both. Tesla revenue. Interesting. All right. Where was I? We're going to the euro, I think. So the dollar picked itself up today. Yeah, dollar had a pretty good day. Maintained upside momentum for the better part of the day. So, of course, the euro. But look where the euro is. It's in between weekly kickoff high. It's in between our trend lines here. Short time frame control, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see that there was any really big opportunities here. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, how it responded to Tesla. Got a nice little pop off that top here. To the 10-year, toeing the line. Continuation, perhaps a close below last week's low. We're going to be looking for continuation. We're going to be looking for new business tomorrow to see if we can get this market to continue this push to the downside. And I don't necessarily see why not. Rates continue to kind of get pushed higher. And don't forget, a week from next Wednesday's FOMC, we start talking about that already. And natural gas, our measured move met. Then it becomes resistant. So we got some time, we've got some volume down below that level. Volume wasn't all that great, but if we see an increase in open interest and we see volume maintaining, this move to the downside could continue. I would be, knowing that we've got winter coming up, knowing everything that's going on in the world, I would be really kind of nervous to be looking at shorting at this level. We've got a swing low here. We've got swing lows here. It's going to be a tough one. Thank goodness I don't trade natural gas. Uncle Rick, he's already up in his room with the dog. He just got home early from work today, and he's probably kind of tired. So, Jenner, I'll pass step 2 tomorrow. Nice. Glad to. I like your confidence, but if you've made that a goal, be careful, Jenner. Wake up tomorrow. take a look at your charts and put in the back of your mind that you're starting from zero. You have expectations of finishing tomorrow and it doesn't go the way you want. There's a big risk of becoming emotional and stepping away from your strategy. And I don't want that to happen to you. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, don't worry. All right, Captain Price had a good trade this morning, looks like. All right. This day in history, in 1781, the Americans beat the British at Yorktown in the Revolutionary War. 87, we all know what happened. The stock market has the largest ever one-day crash, 22.6%. 1982, John DeLorean was arrested in a $24 million cocaine deal. John DeLorean was kind of the godfather of the muscle car. John DeLorean designed and was part of Pontiac. He was one of the people that created the Pontiac GTO. 1985, Take On Me. We all know that song. That video helps Norway's Aha reach #1 in the pop charts. $1985. I can't believe it was 1985. Blockbuster first store opens up in Dallas, Texas. It closed a week later. It seems. As far as music is concerned, where was this? Something interesting here about one of my favorite old-time rock and roll bands, the Yardbirds. They arrived in New York for their first U.S. tour with Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page on lead guitar at the same time. Could you imagine seeing Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page on the same stage? It's happened, but not very often. Peter Tosh's birthday is today, 1944 he was born. Keith Reed was a member of Procol Harum. It's his birthday today. The Whiter Shade of Pale, if you know that song. That's about all I really kind of see. My brother is always a fan of this band. 1968, Humble Pie, 18-year-old Peter Frampton meets Steve Marriott at a Small Faces show in London. After striking up a friendship, they start planning a new group which emerged as Humble Pie. Yeah, that's about enough of that fun. Yeah, Page was 78 years old. Yeah, I think that's about how old he is now. He's all white. He's all white-haired. And Jordan, how do you develop your own strategy? Time, consistency. Take a look at the different tools. It's going to take some time. I don't know your experience and your knowledge of technical analysis profiles, anything that you're going to be looking at, but it is something that is going to be a strategy and a process, and all of this is a work in progress the entire time you're trading for your entire life. Start simple. Look for a simple moving average crossover. Look for a candle pattern. Look for a technical pattern. Get to know as much as you can about markets, and at the same time paying attention to who you are, Jordan. It's so important, if not more important, to understand yourself more than even technical analysis when it comes to trading. Come to group coaching. Come to Make Hogue Money. Make Hogue Money, we have traders that are suggesting trades, and we're taking trades. Group coaching is, I think, a way we can get a lot cozier and looking at some charts and some different ways to look at markets. And we're looking forward to your success, Jordan. So, that's a big question, and we will take it little bits at a time. Keep asking. You come up with a specific thought or idea, let us know, let me know, and we'll have the opportunity to get closer and closer to hopefully creating a consistent strategy for you. Edward, I have 2 rules. I am engaged and feeling good, number 1. And number 2, this is an A++ setup, period, the end. If I'm looking at my P&L, then I'm not engaged. Great thoughts, great ideas, Edward, 100%. Brad, yes. With Jenner, focus on your process. You focus on your process and your strategies are good, you're going to get to where you want to go. Bet more on good setups. Sit out poor action. All good thoughts, all good ideas. Thank you all very much. So again, hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling. Something I'm missing here, let me know. jhoagland@topstep.com. If you love the forecast and recap, let everybody know. If something we're missing, let me know. On that note, take a deep breath, get some good rest, be kind to yourself and to others, say a prayer for peace, not only in the world, but in yourself. And we'll see you tomorrow morning on the market forecast. 7:45, same bat time, same bat channel. Well, that's it for me, Commissioner Gordon. We'll see you in the morning.